The materials are just always here for me. I find that rather than trying to invent materials, that the intuitive part of my nature selects for me. It's a process that I'm somewhat unaware of at first. It may come through visuals like other people's photography, images that I see in the media. But the intertwining part of it all is that everything I need is always available to me, and part of it is my own vision or ability to be quiet and see, and that is always interwoven into every project. So what I was going to do today was talk a little bit about what this project is that I'm starting. It's going to be related to paths, to the essence of what nature teaches and brings to us and gives to us every moment. It's always a process of seed, birth, and transformation. And so what I'm going to do is use some of the materials that I found here. A lot of my work involves found objects, and this pole barn has been between it and the objects here. What I'm finding mostly is the vines are what speak to me the most. So when I'm looking at the vines, I'm looking at the just like that. The silence, you know, they're each in their own form, and they each have their own identity and beauty. And so what I did was to begin the process of harvesting and gathering the vines. And so I took the vines down from the poles and then began to just interlace them and lengthen them, and then lay them in this boat for the next part of the project, which will be the design. I've already started with some drawings, and we don't know what the design will be yet because it hasn't been given birth to yet. But the beginnings of the vines started long before this project. What happens with art is that the creation of it is part of the process, but then there's also the viewer's part, and eventually it becomes a marker. It becomes part of what people identify with a portion of their environment. It's ancient. This particular sculpture was also created with found objects. It's also about the land and from the land, and it brings with it the stories and tales of the stacking of stones to communicate certain types of activities. The Inuit believed that they needed to mark the direction of north, which helped with good fishing, with their landscape when it was frozen, their landscape when it was not frozen. The essence of water, marking events are intertwined in this direction that this sculpture seems to be going. What does the water do? The water is part of what brings everything to a place of community. The trees do well here, the animals do well here, the winged ones do well here. We're watching a drought situation right now, but from the drought will come the bounty, and from the communication that's made through sculpture and through art comes maybe something that isn't understandable at first, but becomes almost a bounty in itself, because there is an inner understanding that each person can have, and a narrative dialogue they have with the sculpture that may be very different from what someone else sees, but still, it's my gift, and it's a gift that I feel was given to me, a divine gift, and that's what I'm doing through all of the work that I do, is bringing that gift into this reality.